help open the library with. Do the junior high school musical for your kid. Parents will teach them how to sing. And in the meantime, their father, who's a plumber, said, come and help. And two idiots like me get on the floor. I'm really not handy, and Brent is even less handy than I am. So I think there is some wacky hijinks that will ensue. Plus, we have 2 Gen Z kids. My daughter Eliza, his son Jackson, who are so embarrassed by how unwoke we are. They bust us for it. And so I think that'll be an element. At any rate, please help us out. We'll make this show. You're up. I'm sorry for the costly delay.
Of you and Data?
Yeah. What do you think? Are you a Data fan? What? Do you think I could do a flip off here? Ready? It's all part of the show.
Stuck guy.
How did you get the role of Commander Riker?
Oh, great question. The role of Commander Riker took me 7 auditions over 6 weeks. I kid you not. It's like you asked exactly the right question. I had another story for you. So I went to audition for Judy Lowery, who was the casting director for the show. Then I went to see Rick Berman, then I went to see all these other people. And because Star Trek The Next Generation in 1987 was, little known fact, the first scripted drama made directly for syndication. Syndication is what happens, as you know, after a show has like 100 episodes and they get bought and resold. This was made directly for syndication so that they would only have to pay us 40% of SAG minimum. Not that I'm bitter. Because we're still making $7 an episode on shows that we made 35 years ago. So, that is as explanation for why there were 7 auditions, because there were all these different middle-level management people whose office I had to go to impress them enough to get hired. And in the last couple of auditions, I was called in to Gene Roddenberry. You know who Gene Roddenberry is, created the show. I was called into his office because he was the creator of Next Generation. Corey Allen, the late great Corey Allen, who was directing the pilot, was there. And they would prepare me for the next impending audition, the next step up the ladder. And I think Gene was on my side. I'm not sure about Corey. It got down to 2 actors, a wonderful actor who you probably know, who ended up playing the outrageous O'Connell named Billy Campbell. You know who that actor is? Rocketeer. It was sort of he and I at the last roundup. And Gene Roddenberry, this is where it gets serious. Roddenberry would explain to me what his vision of the future was, the 23rd century. And he said to me, Jonathan, in the future there would be no hunger, and there would be no greed, and all of the children will know how to read. Right? Gene Roddenberry. You inspired that answer. That's how I got the job. Jonathan, sir, first of all, his t-shirt says, I drink and I know things.
It's true. It's very true. So, you have a group of Army students at the Command General Staff College here at Fort Leavenworth. And it's ever since Comicon was coming to Kansas City, we're like, what would Riker do? Ooh. We are doing staff planning for commanders at high echelons, and the staff, the planning, the war gaming. And I think the answer may have just came on stage because you had Data. And exactly, the guy who won't complain, and by the way, to hear you curse is gold.
It's interesting how many people are enjoying that part of it. Right.
I mean, behind closed doors, you get a bunch of field grades in.
Right.
It's been 20, 30 years, and yeah.
It's like 20, 30 years of actors who've been doing the same.
And we just cannot understand.
All adults, it's a language
We can't understand, how did Riker stay as the chief of staff, the XO, for over a decade?
Why didn't he get promoted?
Why did he pass it up? Oh my!
Troy.
That's a good answer. Good answer. That was part of it. I like the way you think.
Because there was a world in which, in the pilot of Next Generation on Encounter at Farpoint, Troy and Riker were lovers, and they had come to be assigned to the ship together. We could read each other's mind. We were empaths. She was an empath. Riker was somewhat empathic. You remember this at all from the pilot of the show? And then, conveniently, the writers had amnesia and said, wouldn't it be great if Riker's character and Troy's character were available for, shall we say, alien relationships? So we went out and kirked it up a little bit with other... To Marina's credit, we always kept alive the fact that the two characters were still in love with each other and still cared about each other. And all the scenes sort of in the conference room, remember those big goofy chairs where we all sat around the table? And the stuff on the bridge, Marina and I would always share, we would react to things together. And the editors finally, they found a way to, and then somehow magically, by the time we got to Nemesis, the writer said, wouldn't it be a great idea if Troy and Riker got married? Yeah, no kidding. Anyway, I digress.
That's all.
May I digress?
Just between episodes, there had to be 12-hour days every day, between planets, between worlds, mission planning, wargaming, counteraction, reaction. Oh my.
Oh my.
Yes. So, yeah, the resounding theme is, what would Riker do? And I think the answer is he'd find data.
Yes. One of the other great parts about playing Riker was in those scenes where people were war planning and making decisions and explaining what was going on the planet we were going to and what were the Romulans going to do to us and all that we faced to boldly go. Riker would say, report. And then Geordi would give me 5 minutes, Data would give me 5 minutes, all that techno battle, and then I'd say, thank you.
I gotta tell you, the one thing that may have been missing was the PowerPoint presentations. Just
spare us all. Spare us all. And spare us any more Zoom meetings. You look awesome.
Thank you.
And you are?
Professor Chaos from South Park.
Little known fact, whose favorite show is South Park? From the cast.
I'm going with Patrick Stewart.
You are going with Patrick Stewart, and that is right! $37,000 for this guy! And what is Patrick Stewart's favorite movie? Now that we
don't know.
Hot Shots Part 2. Seems unlikely. But that's the way it goes. I have to go, but I will tell you one last story about Sir Patrick Stewart now that we're on the subject. Do you remember he used to sit in the chair like this? Do you want to ask me a question first?
Yeah, just real quick. I know you've done a lot of directing and stuff, but I was really wondering, because Seth MacFarlane's a huge fan of Star Trek, and the Orville is largely themed off of Star Trek. Right now there's not a season 4 in production, but if there were, would you be interested in guesting or directing that series? Because I think you've directed already.
I beg him to come back. I hope so, yes. The answer is yes.
For acting or directing or both, I think.
All of the above. Remember when we were on the bridge? And Patrick would sit here, right? Yes. And we'd be attacked by Romulans or whoever was shooting at us. Riker's over here, bouncing around the chair. Troy was in her chair, her hair always looked perfect when she bounced around. Geordi and Data were down front. And we're being blasted by phaser fire from alien ships. And Picard's rocking, and Patrick's rocking on the chair. He says, oh, Jonathan. Jonathan. And he leans over and says, oh, Jonathan. 25 years in the Royal Shakespeare Company for this.